on with my crown. And since the baton was passed, I've been down. Cause failing's not an option, and dad is not a noun, not at all.
Welcome to another episode of Dad is Not a Noun. My name is Ishmael, changing the narrative for men of color and fatherhood, as well as changing the narrative on the things I care about. And today, what I care about is highlighting amazing single fathers. You know, often we hear about single moms, but we rarely hear about the single dads. This is a part of my series where I had previous guests on just telling me the beautiful struggle of being a single father. And my guest today is TJ. TJ, thank you for coming on with me. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on with me. The next question I'm going to ask you is going to be a little deep. I ask all my guests because I'm all about mental health. How's your heart at this moment?
My heart, well, my heart's at peace. My heart is good. You know, I'm always striving for, a walk, in Christ, in Jesus Christ. And as a matter of fact, I just got out of a Bible study. We were studying Hebrews 2:1, literally about 45 minutes ago. Before I came in. So, that's something I try to center myself around because, to be honest, not just being a father, but just being a man in general. Like men are being attacked. So you gotta stay prayed up in this world. They try to feminize men in this world nowadays. Yeah, we're just being attacked. So we have to be, centered and aligned, and we need that strength. We need to know and be empowered by the authority that's already given to us, the strength that we already have, and that us men through like the different circumstances that come across us in life just happen to kind of knock us down. But when we know the authority that we have in Christ, and we then there's no way you should be walking or being able to fall as easy, which I have experienced for many years. So this is this is not something that I've been for many years. This is actually something I knew Christ for a while, but I'm actually just walking in Him now, and just trying to really just stand and be able to just walk through life in victory. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's where I'm at.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's what,
Definitely. No, definitely. I appreciate that, man. Just talk about some of the challenges of you being a single dad, raising two daughters. Talk about that.
well. Let me tell you, it definitely makes me appreciate women.
Okay.
It definitely makes me, because when I was with my wife, like like probably back then I didn't realize how good it was. You know what I mean? Because women play such an important role. So so now, my girls, they're older now. Um, so I mean, they can pretty much fend for themselves. But when they first came in, I felt the pressure of um, coming home, having that energy to cook, clean and do all the things that the women actually play a role as, and on top of that, being able to provide and do the things that his dad do. You know what I'm saying? So like I kind of felt that pressure at first, and then my since I realized my girls is older and stuff, what I'm saying, like everything started to feel starting to fall into place, where they were actually, I didn't have to actually fulfill a lot of those roles because they were already grown, and they did, they were able to fend for themselves. But it definitely makes me appreciate women a lot more. I have girls. I don't have any boys. So and then and also having a woman, they know that other side. They have that special bond with other girls. So as you know, as far as so issues with women as far as their hormones and when they're going through their menstrual and their mood swings and stuff like that, they understand more,
Right, right, right.
as where it takes me a little longer to kind of figure those things out. But yeah, there's definitely some difficulties. There's difficulties in the home, whether there's a man or a woman, or challenges, and keeping it all together. But man, we just take day by day, man, um, and just keep moving forward. And like me right now, I just try to enjoy them, enjoy as much as I can with them. You know what I mean? They're older now, so so they're teenagers, so they want to do their little things with their friends, and I'm trying to spend as much time as I can with them. You know what I'm saying? Because I know pretty soon, maybe in a couple
Right,
of years, they're gonna be off and maybe start their own lives, and maybe meet, hopefully meet have some men of God, to guide them along the way as well. Yeah, yeah, that's where I'm at.
that's good, man.
I, don't-
Talk. Go ahead, brother.
I don't know if I answered your question right, but yeah.
No, it's good. It's good, man. It was a good answer, man. Talk about the challenges of co-parenting for you personally.
Co- All right, so co-parenting. Well, with me, yeah, that's definitely been a challenge. Especially because my wife and I, or my ex-wife and I, we didn't really see eye to eye on a lot of. She's an awesome woman. She is an awesome woman. She is, oh
Right,
my goodness, she loves her children. I don't have them because of any of her flaws or anything. Because she's an outstanding woman. It's just, you know what? I don't know. I was actually told that I was going to have my children, and that's it just kind of happened. You know what I mean?
mm,
But it was nothing because of what she, you know, anything, any of her flaws or any anything negative about her. It was nothing like that. She's actually doing very, very well herself. But there's a lot, a lot of times they don't see eye to eye in certain um just like situations and stuff like that. And when it comes to parenting, um there were certain things that she allowed that I would not allow just out of um just 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 out of character change, just out of knowing what the Word of God says, just knowing, you know what I mean,
right,
and just knowing some of these, just how easy it is to drift off, and the ideas that this world right now that we're living in is kind of just kind of confusing everyone. It's just like everything that's wrong is right, and everything wrong, and that's kind of like where that's a world that we're living in nowadays, and it's slowly getting worse, and um, so some of the parenting issues that we had, um, regarding our daughters, we didn't see eye to eye with, and so I had some issues like when the girls would go over there, or they would go talk to their mom and they wouldn't talk to me, and explain, and then she would, you know what I mean, just
right,
you know how the kids can play that whole parent thing, like they play the parents,
right.
and without really knowing. So yeah, so there was, there were times like that, and so I me and mom had to have a talk. Me and her mom had to have a talk, and their moms had to have a talk, uh, and we ironed out some issues, and we really see eye to eye, because at the end of the day, we both want the same things. At the end of the day, um, we we want to be able to co-parent because let me tell you something. The the ones who are affected by it the most are the kids, not us. So we want to be able to co-parent
Oh man, I think you
we
froze.
iron things out, and it took a little while for us to start seeing eye to eye, but just as of the past couple of months, we've we've gotten in more alignment, if you will,
Right.
when it comes to like co-parenting and stuff, and it's actually been really great. I mean, we've actually all gone like on trips, and we've all gone out to dinner, almost like if we were like an old couple again, and had the family. So that was just like 2 3 weeks ago that we all kind of just went out and we celebrated, my daughter's graduation, and we were all able to go out, just us us five.
Wow.
So it was amazing, and you actually saw the joy in the kids' faces. They're not kids no more. They're all 16, 17, and 23. But you still seeing, the joy in their faces. You seen, like they were. It was like we were all home and family again, even though we're not together. But we were all
Right.
we were at Olive Garden, you know.
Wow.
So so we were able to iron out the co-parenting, and just her like understand where I'm coming from, and she knows that I mean very very well, and me understanding her, and we just put our differences aside and said, hey, this is what this is, and this is how we're gonna have to deal with things, and if there's ever any confusion or anything, we to okay, we'll listen to the girls, but we need to get on. We need to see what's up first, what's going on between us. Then we'll deal with the girls. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna let the girls, you know, switch that up on us. You know what I'm saying? Because as long as we're on the same page, as long as we, then the girls will be like, oh, smack, okay, all right, and then they just end up falling into place. Because when me and mommy are aligned, and we're coming to them with what is going to be happening and what the issues are, it's a whole different story. Then the kids respond so much differently. The kids, yeah, it's amazing. And I've been on both sides. So I've experienced both sides of it. Um, being aligned and not being aligned with with the other parent, with the mom, and it's nice when you see it work. It's nice when you see it, and then you see the positive response, even when you are um disciplining your child, right? When they
Hmm.
do wrong, even when you're even in that discipline, instead of them wilding out, rebelling, and just acting the fool, you'll see them start to just pump their brakes,
Right.
just and then they're like that, and then they're like, oh, okay, all right, and you see the difference in their responses, reactions, and and just you start to see a change in their character in a positive way when it comes to disciplining. I mean, I literally just went through it. I literally, you know, uh, took my daughter's car for 2 weeks. I said, you're gonna use it for work,
Right.
and that's it. You know what I mean? And then you come home, you'll park that car, because she didn't obey. So,
Right.
um, and you know what? She took that in the chin. I didn't get. We didn't hear no lip. And I loved it. And so, man, I even gave her the car like 2 days earlier.
Wow.
Just just for her being able to just take that in the chin, roll with it, and now start to handle her work responsibilities on her own, like, well, now I got to take the bus. Now I got to do this. And I told her, I said, well, now, you know, I would normally, you would normally take the car. I said, you can't take the car, but if I can't pick you up, you, you're gonna have to be responsible enough to take the bus or whatever, and she did her little no car time, and I gave it to her 2 days early because she handled it well, and this was my little tough cookie, so you know what I mean. This is my little tough daughter, you know what I mean. And yeah, so for me to see her handle that, in a little bit more maturely was definitely a proud moment for me and her mom, to be honest. So yeah.
And this has been a dope conversation, man. Enjoyed this because you rarely get the insight from a single father's perspective, and I think more and more people need to hear the perspective of a single dad. Um, uh, Give me a proud dad moment from a moment from your daughters, from each of your daughters. Give me a proud dad moment.
Uh, Proud that, well, this actually has been a proud year moment for me, to be honest. Uh, because my like um my middle daughter who just graduated turned 18, but she was all right. All right. So I just moved from Lancaster, right? I want to say 2 years ago. When I was living out there, I was out there for about, I don't know, 7 years. Someone came up to me and told me that I was gonna have my daughters 2 years before I even got them, and she named them by name. She said Ciara, which is the one that graduated, is gonna come first, and then she says, and then the other one's gonna come along. I
Wow.
thought I was like I thought I was gonna have a house out in Lancaster that would come down. It ain't
Right.
happened that way. I ended up moving here to the Lehigh Valley. Where I met you, and it worked out. It happened the way it happened, but not the way I thought it was gonna happen. So so my middle child, she was like she always kind of struggled in school, and she always like academically, and man, and she came up with me. She came to live with me, and she literally turned her grades around completely,
Wow.
from getting C's, D's, F's to getting A, B's, and if you got a C, then we that was definitely something you got to work on, and she did it, man. She did it, and I didn't have to yell. I had a simple talk. It was a firm, loving talk, and it was just guiding her through life. Not really, not it wasn't, it was just a talk, of guidance, but with love, and so she turned it around, man. She turned it around this year. She graduated with A's and B's. Not only did and she was holding a job down, and she took the bus. She took the bus. She's the oldest. The youngest one has her license. She don't even have her license yet, but she was taking the bus, two buses to work.
Wow.
Coming from here to down to like Fogelsville, right?
Wow.
Working at some old folks home, like a senior living place, and and man, and she just like she got a promotion at her job. She got A's and B's, and then she was chosen to say a speech. They had her singing at the graduation, and so
Wow.
like so this whole has been a proud daddy moment because she was the one that's always struggled, even when I lived with them when I was young in school, and now so to see her just to kind of just you know just kind of turn it around and just see the yeah, it's just been amazing, so it's not just a one day daddy moment. It's been like a 1 year daddy moment because like I physically like just seen like she changed right in front of me, and you saw the maturity level just
Wow.
go up week by, and then to the point where when we would go to family functions with everybody in the family, like people would notice it and they would comment on it, and
Right.
and so every time positive comments about them, and the change, and oh my goodness, she's so mature, and the way she just handled herself, and just walked around and spoke, and it was just and people noticing it, family noticing it, and commenting on it. Those were all proud daddy moments. You know what I mean? So yeah,
That's dope,
yeah.
man. But what about your other daughters? You have another proud moment, that moment from your other daughter?
Um, yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah. Well, my youngest one, she's the bright one. She was the book reader. She's smart. Okay, so a proud daddy moment. She's my tough cookie. She was always the little one was the protector of the oldest one and the middle one. Yeah, she's like she's not violent, she's not aggressive, she's actually very friendly, and she has a whole bunch of friends. She gets love everywhere she goes. But when she gotta go there, she goes there. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that's what I'm telling like, yo, but this I believe is gonna be my lawyer. She wants to go to law school. And a proud daddy moment was she's 16, right? She's 16. She had she had worked at this park, and at Donny Park. It was at Donny Park last year, and at the end of the year, they say, "Hey, we're going to give you would you to be a supervisor?" Or they gave her a supervisor position because I guess people called off, or I don't know. They just gave her the opportunity, and they thought that she was able to do it, but she didn't get to pay for it. It was like the last 3 weeks of the season. So then they said, next year if you sign up, we'll put you right into this position. Well, she signed up, right?
Mhm.
And she didn't hear, and she signed like a regular employee. It wasn't for she just like everybody signs up. And then and she said, Dad, and she has another job too. She works at Wawa's too. So she said, Dad, if I'm not, if they don't call me for that supervisor position, I'm not even gonna work there. I'm gonna just
Right.
work at Wawa's, right? I said, so she said, so like 2 or 3 weeks later, they finally emailed her for this position, for this supervisor position, and so it was like an addition to her application,
Right.
and they were asking her management question when it comes to man hours and budget and managing employees, and they were asking her like just managerial questions. And so I had a cleaning company before, and I had about 11 employees at one time. And so she kind of knows that I know a little bit about that. So she asked, she said, Dad, can you help me out with this application because these questions are kind of hard.
Right.
So I'm very detailed, and I gave her this long like explanation and on some of the questions, right?
Hmm.
And she took what I said. She was like, "All right, okay, so hold on." It literally took me like 10 minutes to explain like one question, right? So she
Right.
went. She was like, "All right." She typed it up. She typed it up like in I want to say 45 seconds to like a minute, and she says, "All right." So the next question, I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "You." I said, "I just told you all of this, and that's all. I mean, that's all you wrote." She said,
Right.
"Yeah, Dad, I hit all the points." And I was like, "Read me your answer." She read me her answer. I was like, "Oh smack!" It was like she answered all the points straight and direct to the point, but hit everything I said um just that quickly. And I was like, "Wow!" I said, "You don't have to write some of my papers."
Right.
And the way she and then when she had the application, then like 2 or 3 days they gave her a call, and they said, why do you think they asked her, why do you think you'll be the best fit for the supervisor position. And she said, oh, that's easy. And she told me her answer. She said, oh,
Wow.
that's easy. I'm this, that, and I know I could do this, and this, and that. And And I was just like, wow. And then she got the position, So that was a proud daddy moment because, I'm. It took me really long. Took me kind of a little bit to think about it. Once I thought about it, and then kind of hit, and I went into like knowing trips. You know how at Dorney Park you got tips from kids coming from New York, different organizations, New York, New Jersey, all over, big and so I went into detail like that, knowing how many buses are coming in,
Right.
what tickets, like
Yeah.
we went into depth. All that detail, she took it in like 45 seconds, wrote everything up, came with an answer, and she ended up getting a job. And so
That's
for my youngest, that was a proud. So she's a supervisor, right? She's
okay.
making 20 some dollars an hour at the age of 16. You know what I'm saying? Man, that she only making a little bit less than what I'm. You know what I mean? You know, at, you know. So that's definitely a proud daddy moment right there.
That's
Yeah.
all. That's awesome, man. And do you have a proud daddy moment for the middle one?
Well, that is my little one. She's
Oh, that's the
16.
middle one. The middle one.
The middle one was the one that graduated. The story that I told you before.
All right.
The one that she
Mhm.
middle one. The 16-year-old is she's she's the tough cookie, but she's also she was always a reader since she was
Right.
a little girl. So she's smart. She gets things and she's pretty witty. You know what I mean? So and then my oldest one is 23. She's on her own already. She got her family and stuff, and she's doing very well.
That's
So yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome, man. That's dope, man. Man, this has been an amazing conversation. What's up? This has been an amazing
Yep.
conversation, man. I appreciate you jumping on, bro. It was great. Before we end this dope conversation, what advice do you have for a single dad out there?
Um, for a single dad, this, I mean, what advice? All right. So the only advice, so what works for me is being able to stay grounded in Jesus because like I said every time I try to do it in my own power I muff it up. I mess it up so bad, and you see it in I say the wrong things to my girls. I say, so and I've experienced that. So just being able to be grounded, having a clear mind, and being able to process things, being still, just being still when things pop up. Because when everything's going good. It's when things pop up, is when you're put to the test. And so just being able to be still, right, and process everything before um you get upset or you get in your feelings. You know what I'm saying? So just being able to be still, process, try to understand, where they're at. You know what I mean? And and really, think out. I mean, there's been times where, I had to actually wait like a whole day, 2 days before I can even respond to anything, just to make sure that I would do it right because I have failed so many times before that. So, and that's big. That's real big. Just because, and you're gonna see the difference in the response. You're gonna see when I do it that way. Oh my goodness! Like it just, yeah, it's just you see the difference. It's amazing in the difference. So uh my recommendation. What I would tell single fathers. Be still in those times. Process everything. You know, put your feet in their shoes and from their shoes and also from a father's view. And and then once you got all the information, and once you ain't angry, you allow yourself just to be able to communicate with them, where they're gonna be understanding you. Because if you come a little too aggressive, you come in with the rah, even if you come like, just being like a smart ass, if you will, just for lack of better term. They're not, they're just gonna close up. They're gonna close up. They're gonna close up. They're gonna put the guards up, and they're gonna be deaf in the ears. As long as as much as you talk, they're still gonna be deaf in the ears. So everything has to be done with love, and make sure you process everything before you respond to anything they do.
I
That's
like
all.
that.
That's all I
I
got.
like that. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. This has been another amazing conversation on the podcast. Follow me on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, all that good stuff. And we're out. Peace.